Lindsay, it's been almost a year since I got on a plane and went to Good Morning America to kick off season 28 uh, of Dancing with the Stars. I cannot believe it's been a year.
Like, I remember that day vividly, first of all. I remember meeting you, but we didn't know we were going to be partners. You might have known that you were going to be my partner, but I had no idea you were my partner yet.
So honest to God, you had no idea, none.
None. Well, of course, I knew it was possible. Every single guy
Sure. I mean,
celebrity I
only
met,
six,
I'm like, you
right?
could be my partner. You could be my partner. But I didn't know. I hadn't been told yet. So that's the crazy part.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I actually found out maybe the night after the little get together party is
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's when I was told. So
I think that's when they were like, "Hey, did you see all that stuff on Twitter and online? So that's him."
hey, did you see them just slight bit of buzz about this one celebrity we have? Well, that's your partner.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. I was pumped. I loved it.
Like, okay, Utah, how do I get home?
First flight out, Salt Lake City.
So let me just, so obviously since you've left, or that I last saw you, you went and did something. You got pregnant.
Yes, I did do something, Sean. That
was, yeah. All right. So do you guys have a name yet? Have you and Sam picked one out?
No, we are struggling so hard. So I don't know if I told you this when we were partners, but I was pretty positive we would have all boys. I was set. So I had a ton of boy names, a ton.
Okay,
and
so what would have been the boy name? And I'm not saying it has to be Sean.
So it was Sean. No, just kidding. We loved the name Crew for a boy.
Oh. Okay.
It was and Sam, here's the thing. I'm pretty easy with names. Sam's the tough one to win over, but we both were we like this name. It's really cool.
Okay.
So that was kind of the boy name. And then we found out it was a girl and we were both just like, what the heck? And we're having a really hard time.
You're from a family of all girls. I mean,
I know. So, but it comes from the guy, right? Doesn't the guy determine the sex of the baby? Maybe you don't know that. I'm pretty sure it is. So with Sam, it's all of his.
It's a science film.
Sean, I wouldn't expect you to be good at science. It's fine.
Science and dancing. Damn it.
Those are your two. You need to go back to school and take those subjects again. But yeah, I honestly did not think we were having a girl. So we're still struggling with the name. But I also know that we won't pick out a name until we see her.
Yeah. I remember both of our kids, we thought we knew what we want, and we said when we see it, we'll know, Yeah. And so it does. But do you have a working list?
Kind of. I honestly no, because we both haven't really agreed on anything yet. So it's we don't
suggesting them. Are your are your sisters?
So here's the thing. I'm kind of not talking to people, talking to family about it, because what happened is before, when we had boy names that we liked, we'd say them to family members because they'd be like, what are you thinking? We'd say the name and they'd be like, oh, I don't really like that. And then you're like, I don't care what you think about the name. Yeah. But then in the back of your mind, you're always thinking that. So I've been really careful not to share too many names with close family, because I don't want to hear if they don't like it.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I'm going to let you know a little talent I have, which is if you tell me the baby's name, I can tell you pretty much everything about the person, boy or girl. So if you name your kid, if you were having a boy and you said, we're going to name it Lars, I'd be like, okay, Lars is going to be cool. He won't.
Where did Lars come from? Did you just watch the Will Ferrell movie on Netflix?
No.
Oh,
but I'm just saying that there are certain names. If you name your kid, Ashley, she will have blonde hair. She will be an officer in the sorority. That's just by default. You get up and you go, I'm Ashley. And they go, okay, you're the secretary.
Would you have said Lindsay will be this? Could you have predicted?
I can't do that. It's hard now, but I'm just saying, you give me a name and I can tell you. You ever see, there's that John Cusack movie and they go, Nick, Nick's the guy. He can throw up in the backseat of your car, but it's okay because he's Nick.
Okay,
it's something, it just comes to me. It's like being a psychic, but
it's just so if I want to know the fate of my future daughter, I should start telling you baby names.
Yeah, well, just saying, because if you want them to, it depends on what future you want. Do you want them to be, very successful in business? Do you want them to be loved and well-liked, good at sports? Right?
How about all of the above?
like if you name your daughter Alex, she's gonna kick butt at sports. Like it's part
That's
of the
true.
name.
There
Like,
are names that are more like.
yeah. All right.
So
I'm
I
just
guess
telling
we're
you.
just like setting up. The name is huge. We're setting up our daughter
Yeah, totally.
for her future. We're really giving her her path.
So every time I go on an
It's
Instagram
getting
story,
even more hard now. Jeez.
no, well, I'll make it easy. I'll tell you. I'll be like, this is what's gonna happen.
I don't
Boom.
want to know, Sean.
Right.
What if I tell you a name I really like and then you give me a future that's terrible?
Well, then like I can be like, look, they're going to win a Nobel Prize in science, and you can be like, hey, that's pretty cool. They're gonna have a internet startup and make millions. That might be like, hey, this is great.
Hey, Sean, you're going to be the person that I come to once we have our list of 3 names. I'm going to give them to you as an audition. You're going to let me know what the futures are of these 3 names, and then that will determine our choice.
Perfect.
Maybe.
All right. So look, you get all this stuff on that. I see you on Instagram. Like, what's the coolest thing you've gotten so far? Because you've gotten clothes, toys. Like, what is the one thing that you're like, this is the coolest thing and I'm excited to use it or to have my baby put it on?
So like the most kind of real moment in like baby accessories was when we got our stroller and our car seat, because I'm like setting that up going, oh my God, like clothes, like that's fun, but it's not something that I haven't gotten before. But like a baby stroller and a baby car seat, and me and Sam sitting in our kitchen, like learning how to do all the like clips and everything.
Yeah.
It was just like such a surreal moment of, oh my gosh, we're actually going to do this. Like we will actually be putting a baby into this stroller. And it was just so funny because neither of us have ever like put together a stroller before. I mean, we've pushed strollers, but we've never been like, this is ours. So that was fun.
But you're like, I mean, is this like friends or their company? Like how, I mean, honestly, every time I look at Instagram, it's like, I'm trekking this out. It's like, do you even need a baby shower? Because there's like a million people. I don't know. Are these friends? Is this all like every single baby company sending you something?
It's a mixture. So I actually, like, within a week of telling all my friends on Dancing with the Stars that I was pregnant, literally every single one of them was sending a baby gift. I'm like, you guys, I'm still going to have a baby shower. Well, I'm actually not, unfortunately, going to have a baby shower with any of them. So it kind of worked out. But like immediately, Jenna, Emma, Sasha, like they were all just sending me like baby items, baby clothes. So that's been so much fun. And then, yeah, a lot of it has been some baby companies that just were like, we'd love to send you something. Some of it has been family, and some of it has just been us purchasing things prematurely because we're excited. So it's like a mixture.
I mean, I'll tell you, like any company that like sends you something is getting their money's worth, because you literally genuinely, like I see it and I'm like, God, I might have another kid.
Well, that's the thing.
That looks really cool.
It's so much fun for me. Like literally every single item I get, it just like, I mean, I think it's probably because it's our first, but every little thing is so exciting and just makes the process seem so much more real. Like it just makes you realize like this is actually happening. So yeah, I love sharing about it. So I'm grateful for anything that companies are sending me.
No, but I mean, the funny thing is like, I feel like I am reliving like, you know, my kids now, because I look and I go, oh, I remember we had one of those, or I wish we had one of those. And
I know. Oh, my mom is like, Lindsay, you have no idea how easy you have it. She's like, all the automatic everything, like electronic everything. She's like, I used to have to crank up a rocking chair that would rock you. And when it was like on a timer, I'd crank it for a minute and then it would go. I'm like, yeah, that sounds terrible. So there's a lot more gadgets that we have to use from these days, which is awesome.
No, it's been fun watching it. I feel like we're living vicariously, although I will tell you, my kids are both 9 and I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Kind of good. You're like, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah. So as I said at the beginning, like, what are your, like, we're seeing a season startup. Are you you mentioned are you in touch with a lot of the pros as they get ready for the season?
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, seriously, they're like my best friends. Like we live in different states, but we FaceTime. I FaceTime at least one of them every single day. I'm so excited because normally I'd be heading back to LA. So we'd be having a reunion and I'd be seeing them every single day. And I'm genuinely excited to be a fan this season. And
I was gonna say, so are you gonna, like, on Monday nights now, are you gonna sit and watch?
Absolutely. I'm gonna be sitting on this couch.
Are you gonna vote?
Of course I'm gonna vote, and I'm gonna vote for my favorites. Like I'm not just gonna like vote for my friend because they're like, I'm gonna genuinely watch and be like, okay, this person deserves my vote this week, this person deserves my vote. And I feel like because I've been there, I feel like I'll have a pretty fair voting choice because I'll be like, I know that they deserve it this week. Or
Right. No, it's fascinating because I think that what was great when you and I would get judged is that you would say, okay, that was fair criticism, that was unfair, and like you really look at it as a pro.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of times, and that's where I think sometimes the audience would benefit, like watching your critique, because it's like, okay, that's ridiculous, that was actually done properly or not, or understanding the scope of difficulty of something, because that's what was always neat to me, is to be like, okay, like I have no clue, like did I actually do well or not, or was that critique justified or not? Most of the time it kind of was, but there would be times when we'd say like, okay, you know what, that wasn't fair, you actually hit that mark. And so it'll be kind of cool to see your take on something, because you look at it truly as a pro and say that was how these are the elements of that dance, and they hit all four of them and blah, blah, blah. So it'll be great to hopefully now I can like watch live and maybe tune into you on Instagram or something. And watch.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be sharing for sure.
Or do you think, are they lobbying for your votes though? Like, I mean, are these guys, do they know, hey, look, maybe we should call Lindsay up, talk about the season, get her on our side?
I'm definitely going to start seeing that pretty soon.
Election interference.
Yeah, in their mind, they haven't even thought of that yet. But Sean, they'll get there, and then I'm going to be calls, text. I'm going to have their voting numbers. They're going to be like, this is my number. Text it out.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm just throwing this out there. I'm willing to, get behind somebody, throw all the weight back, get them the T-shirts and the swag. We can talk about a campaign.
Run a campaign for them?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I know someone would be down for that.
So do they know who their partners are? Are they doing it like last year?
No, they don't know their partners yet. I don't think they're doing it like last year though. It's going to be very different. I'm pretty sure they're not doing like a GMA like appearance. I don't think.
Really?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it may be some sort of like lot. I guess I don't know. But I'm assuming that like they're not going to fly everybody to New York.
Right. That's the thing that's going to make this thing really unique, is this whole socially distancing thing. I mean, I assume from what I read, they're not going to have an audience, but you still, here's the thing that's weird is that, you're dancing for 4 or 5 hours a day, right? You are in frame.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt to a COVID world when part of doing this is actually being close together.
Yeah, I do think like I don't think the show would be going on if they weren't going to be able to do the dancing portion to their normal ability, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think they're going to make them dance 6 feet apart. If that were the case, I don't think the show would be happening. So I think they've obviously figured something out in that sense. But then at the same time, I truly believe that like, it's going to change every week. Like I could see maybe the first week being no audience, and then hopefully maybe by the end, like depending on how things evolve and change, I think it's literally going to be a day-by-day process. But some things they've already said is like the pros they're not allowed to interact with each other.
Oh, really?
So the married couples actually have to live separately during the season.
And so you've got Pasha and Danny.
Yep.
Jenna and Val.
Yep. Emma
Peter,
and Sasha.
Max, and Sasha and Emma.
Yeah.
The thing that's weird about that is that when I did the show and they were talking to me about it, they kept talking, there's such a family, and it's true. Like you literally become a family. Like it's not just, your partner and the producers that you travel with, but it's the other folks. And I remember there were times when we'd be at the studio in LA, and you'd be taking a break or somebody else would be waiting, and you're catching up about life or how's your week going. And like, that's where I think it'll be interesting to see how this season goes, whether or not those bonds still occur.
Yeah, I think it'll be naturally a little bit different because I don't think you're going to be like hanging out in the studio with everybody. Like, I think it's going to be more structured, and it will be different for sure. Like, it's going to change the dynamic, but at the same time, I'm sure, on show days, it's like, there's no way you can't interact with each other on show days. So maybe it'll just make them more inclined to like get to know each other when they actually do get to see each other. I don't know. It is going to be different. So I won't know. I'll just be watching the live part. So with you.
Right. So do you have any guesses? I know they had one Bachelorette, but last time they started putting out hints. I can't say that I've followed all of them, but do you have any ideas?
No, and they have no hints this season. Like normally, I mean, I also maybe haven't been as persistent at looking because I'm not actually going to be on, but
Right.
like I'm usually pretty aware of like the rumors and like there's usually things like, oh, this celebrity's rumored to be on or such and such. The only person I know of is Caitlin Bristow, the Bachelorette,
Right.
but I haven't heard anything
It's
else.
unbelievable how tight-lipped they are. Even when, I was on the show, you're guessing and you're picking up hints, but you don't. I mean, I had no idea who was
Yeah.
on, except for the guesses that they would throw out on Instagram and.
I know they do a good job of keeping it under wraps because I mean it would kind of ruin the surprise if it was just all out there right away. So
last year they changed the rules, right? So they said, you couldn't vote. Was it on? You could either text or go online. So there's no 800 number, and it happened right during the live show. Do you know? Have they talked about, or are you aware of any like changes that they're doing to this year's?
no idea. I have no idea. I mean, I think that for the most part, people seem to think that the voting system was nice last time. I honestly don't even remember. So I don't know if it's going to stay the same or change, but.
The thing that was interesting, I know the season 27 when Bobby Bones won, there was a lot of concern about whether or not he was the best dancer. And then last year that happened a little with me and you as we got to the quarterfinals. But I think that, the reality is it kind of did work itself out. I think the 4 people in the finals, obviously I still think James Vanderbeek should have ended up. He's very natural. He's great. But at the end of the day, the top 5 and definitely the top 4 deserve to be there. And that the process did work itself out, that you could maybe make a case for, one couple or another at the very end. But I think it did work last year.
Yeah, I think so too. I can't imagine them changing it because I do think that it went pretty smoothly. But then again, I don't know. I guess I was like, if anything changes because of COVID, but it's voting. I don't think that would change anything.
And the interesting thing is, I think I'll be really interested in how the ratings go. I think people are at home, and because of COVID, because they're self-quarantining, and because there's been a lack of sports, it's like watching a competition of sorts will be kind of cool because you can get into something that's live. And new
content because we don't have it's been a while since we had anything like that. So I mean, first of all, I think the show just brings joy in general, but then I think especially right now, I think it's going to kill it because people are just looking for new, exciting content. And that live aspect really does make it more intriguing to watch, especially during these times. So it should be great.
So there's a couple people that are back, right? So Sharna's back on the show.
Yes.
Because you are not the only one that's pregnant. Whitney, obviously, is also your fellow Utah dancer. There is now Utah's only represented by Jenna Johnson.
I know, which she can hold down for. If anybody can, she can.
That's right. I mean, if you're going to be represented by someone, Jenna's perfect.
I know, right?
But so Sharna's back, and then the new dancer Bree, right? Britt, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, but do you guys know her? Because I've seen her in some other.
Yeah, so she was on the show for I want to say 4 seasons on the troupe. So the last season was the first season that she wasn't around for actually probably like 2 years. So I've danced with Britt for years now. She actually came on 2 tours with me. She's very much been a part of the show. She just wasn't on last season, but I'm so excited to have her back. She's seriously such a smart and like talented dancer that as a professional, I think she's going to kill it.
And Danny, who is married to Pasha, she was was it the troupe last year? I don't know, like technically.
They didn't really call it the troupe, but like technically that's what it was. So yeah, I'm so pumped. I mean, that's going to be so fun for her and Posh. I just think for them to be able to go through that now together will be really cool.
Right. The thing that's interesting is that, it's not as one of the cast members, like people are obviously you're getting them to vote for you, but I think a lot of times they vote for like you because they're like, I follow Lindsay or I follow Emma or Jenna or Sasha. Do you think that like if you're new, it's harder, right? So in other words, if you're Danny or Britt, does that make it harder because you're not as known per se as like a Sasha or Lindsay or Val? Or is it like, hey, you follow the show, you're into it, you would know these guys from previous seasons?
I think it can go both ways. I think, in a sense, you start with a lesser fan base because maybe you're not as known, but then I mean, we all started there and it all kind of just escalated. So I don't really think it's a disadvantage. I think it just takes time to get to that point. But the truth is like, that's kind of your first or second season is really where you get to see if you can do it. Because what happens is people are either going to like you or they aren't. It doesn't take them long to get their opinion of you. And so I think like right away, that's kind of like what they do. But then at the same time, they have been a part of the show. So it's like people have seen them, which is good because it means they're familiar. You know, it's a familiar face. It's just in a different role. But I don't know. That's a good question. I think, yeah, I think it just depends. It also really depends on your partner.
Yeah, as much as like I'd like to take credit, like there are like Instagram's accounts that literally like Lindsay's fans, Lindsay's this, and like there are people that, you know, and I would see the feedback on social, and not just with you, but when I was with Jenna a little bit, and then watching other couples, like it's yes, to some degree, it's obviously about the dancer, but there's people who literally have followed you or Jenna or Whitney or Emma or Sasha from like years, and so they really want you to win, and maybe as much or despite their partner.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, we're very lucky to have awesome fans who are loyal to us and then kind of are just down to support any partner that we get. So that is definitely a huge aspect of it. And it kind of just goes, it's kind of like both coming together, the fandom of the pro and of the celebrity coming together and hoping that it makes a good match.
Speaking of that, the fans, whatever, I know I got to see you last in January, I think it was, when you guys came to Richmond, first stop of the tour, and that got cut short. How tough was that, like, to get into it? Were you kind of, I wouldn't say excited, but this was like, this tour was massive. And so were you ready for it to end going, okay, you know, sorry? Or were you like?
Interesting, because I had a little bit of a different experience. Going into it, it was going to be the longest tour I've ever done, that the show has ever done. And so by that point, like, yeah, we were starting to get tired. We had about 4 weeks left, but I had actually just found out I was pregnant, like 4 days before we got sent home off the road. So for me, it kind of like, I mean, I wasn't happy to leave and I would have been fine. Like I could have obviously continued the tour, but for me it was kind of like a little silver lining of like, okay, well you're pregnant, like now you can just go home, rest, take care of your body, and be with Sam. So for me it kind of worked out timing wise. Like I could have obviously done it and I would have obviously continued and finished the rest of the tour, but that was like it was a bummer and we were all bummed and I was sad because I'm like, this could be my last tour. I mean, I don't know if I can really take a baby on the road, so I was sad in that sense. But then the silver lining was knowing like, okay, it's okay, I'm pregnant, I have this new phase in my life, I'm going to go home and just take care of my body. So
no, I don't think I appreciate it. I know we had talked a lot about it, but how intense that tour is. I mean, it's like, I mean, they roll into town, you roll those things out, you guys do the performance, and then it's like 10 o'clock at night and they're like, okay, wheels up, we're going, 4 hours on a bus to.
It's like the craziest lifestyle when you really think about it, when you're in it. And once you've done it now for like years and years, it's kind of just like going through the motions, but it's a lot. You sleep on a bus in like a little tiny coffin-sized bed. You wake up, you haul all of your stuff into a theater, you get your makeup done, hair done. Well, you do it, and then you do a full show that is very hard. Like the shows that we do are pretty grueling on our bodies. We are dancing like to our full potential. Then you do it all over again the next day. You haul everything back onto the bus, you go to sleep, you wake up. It's just kind of like Groundhog's Day every day, but just in a new city with a new theater, a new shower at the venue that you shower in. Like there's just so many little things that go into it. You're practically just living out of a suitcase, but at the same time it is really fun. Like I have so many good memories from tour.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I got a tiny couple hour glimpse into it, and it is different because the show, they take care of everything. It's like, they've got the hair, they've got the makeup, we got a little trailer. On tour, you guys, I mean, it's like the traveling circus, in, out, taking care of everything. I mean, it's unbelievably intense. I was taken back by how much you guys put into that and how intense and quick it is. It was pretty amazing to see.
I'm glad that you got to come and see it because that was very fun. And that was, I think, our first show, right? I think you saw our first show.
Yeah. It was great to get to see everyone. It was weird. I felt like I was going back to like college, like weekend or something, because we haven't seen anyone in a few weeks or a few months rather, but you kind of go, it's sort of like you graduated and they're still in school because you see everyone, but they're still doing everything. So they don't have that much time, but it's like, they want to say, I mean, I loved it. It's great to see everybody. And I was, I was really impressed with what a great show it was. I mean, the audience really gets their money, and you realize what a fan base the show has when you go to one of those, because they live that show, and they know everybody that's there, every one of the dancers and their background, and they're so excited. It's just, it really, like I said, this idea of a Dancing with the Stars family extends well beyond the show. It's part of the tour. It's the fans, it's everybody that's involved. It's such a great experience to see it all.
It is really cool. And it is cool that's where you see the fans of the pros too, you know, that's where you really get to see like, oh, we actually do have some people out there that support like
right.
us individually. It's not just always about our partner, about the couple, it's us individually. So that's really cool.
All right, so I'm gonna let you go. But real quick, so what are you guys? I see a lot of the stuff that you guys are doing on Instagram with your sisters. So you guys are still dancing, still posting. Like,
yep, yeah, we're very much into our YouTube channel right now. We are having so much fun with it, and especially during this time where I've been home for. I mean, I've never been home for this long of a time ever since starting my career. So we have so much time together to just like do what we love to do, which is hang out, try new things, dance. So we're very much into it. Still going to keep going for it. So.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched a couple. I haven't tried it.
You didn't do my hair tutorial, Sean?
No. We're slowly right now easing back into this. I thought
baby steps.
Baby steps, right? Just like the beginning.
Oh yeah. And the end. Right. I'm just kidding.
Good luck. Thanks for catching up. Good luck with everything. I wish the best to you and Sam. And I know, I remember we talked about this a little on the tour with one reporter, but I know you and Sam are going to be such amazing parents. And
thank you.
Little what's her name to be determined. We'll have a very, very loving household to grow up in. I know not just that, but you guys have great families there in Utah to help bring up. So it's going to be fantastic.
Thank you.
Anyway, I'm sure we'll stay in touch. I'm so excited to watch the first season now.
I know, me too. We'll watch together.
I feel like I should keep voting for myself and see how I do. Just text Sean to 215-233 and
maybe there'll be another celebrity named Sean this season, and you can just, it'll be so natural.
Can you imagine if like somehow like that you start getting enough people to text and they go, not participating this year, but Sean and Lindsay are safe.
I would love to see that from our couches.
Yeah.
We're like,
this is awkward.
This is
all
weird.
Right. Well, thank you for doing this. Great to catch up. Hope to see you soon.
I know, you too. It was good to chat with you. Talk to you next time. Bye.